Just wanted to feel good. It had been so long since I felt. And it was really a joy to just help heal somebody.
You and I decided we were going to take our space, and what happened?
Yeah, and then I got into an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement, an entanglement, an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement, an entanglement, an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August,
An entanglement, an entanglement.
an entanglement with August. I got into an entanglement with August.
An entanglement
With August, with August, with August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August,
an entanglement
with August, with August,
August.
entanglement with August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement, an entanglement, an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement, an entanglement, an entanglement with August.
I'm Marquis, baby. Marquis, baby.
I know it seems crazy, but this is literally Jada Pinkett Smith. Okay, she posted this recently in 2025 through her social media. Right? I guess it's supposed to be maybe it's a mood piece. I don't really know, but I think it's totally appropriate for the conversation that I've been having across a couple of videos. You know, specifically about this whole phase shit. Okay, that was sparked again because I guess news is running slow and Aisha Curry decided to come out and say that she never wanted children or any of the bullshit that she currently has. She's so disaffected in her life and shit, so delusional that she would have been in the exact same position that she currently sits in as Steph Curry's right hand, if not he's her right hand and shit. She thinks that she would be in the same position, that she currently lives in if he wasn't in the picture. That's what I'm getting from it when a mother could say she didn't want her children. She has 4 children by this guy. She said she didn't want to have those 4 kids and shit. And I'm like, why don't you use birth control? Right? Why didn't she just get on the pill? She didn't want to have no fucking kids with her goddamn legally and lawfully wed husband. And I know I'm showing you this messed up picture of Jada Pinkett Smith, but I feel like she's the tip of the spear for this nonsense that we've been seeing. It's on some kind of roided out, enhancement and shit over the last few years since around 2019 or so. But whenever Jada Pinkett Smith made that video where she had the audacity to sit in front of Will Smith and admit to having an affair with a kid that was young enough to be her son who was living in the house, with them. Jada Pinkett Smith has always been in the business, okay? She understands the business, okay? And the reason I say that is because a lot of women are gonna hear this shit and talk about it. Will Smith is down low or something and shit. Whatever if he is down low. I don't care if Will Smith is down low, okay? He is who he is. He deserves respect from his fucking wife if nobody else and shit. That's the way it's supposed to be. And she's in the business too, so she understands that and shit. Okay? You don't see, theoretically, you never see mafia wives talking shit about their husbands, You never see like mafia chicks talk. We don't have any such fealty or race loyalty or marriage union loyalty and shit, nothing keeping it in the bag or behind that wall. We don't have none of that shit in this community, this supposed ethnic community and shit. And nowhere is it more highlighted than when Jada Pinkett sat in front of her husband and admitted to having an affair with a kid that she had groomed over time and shit, and sexually assaulted and shit because she's old enough to be his fucking mother. He's old enough to be her son and shit. So it's raises all kind of moral and ethical questions. For me, there's no gray area because of the relationship, because the kid, not so much his age, because maybe he was an adult, but not so much his age, so much the proximity of that she had access to him under her husband's roof. Okay, it's not their shit. It's Will Smith's shit. He built all that shit and allowed her to indulge all of her nonsense and shit. Allowed her to behave in a the pseudo feminism and a stupid heavy metal group and shit. That she's the front that fell apart because she has no talent. Right? She was a glorified extra in a different world, as far as I'm concerned. And I never really noticed that. I didn't watch a lot. I watched some of her movies, but not a lot. I didn't fuck around with Set It Off or any of that nonsense. I can't relate to that bullshit, that criminal bullshit. I'm a regular person, non-select. I did see her in the Low Down Dirty Shame, and that's a movie that I used to love watching until she did what she did to her husband, embarrassing his ass on the national stage, and then going on a campaign to emotionally terrorize this guy in front of the world. And a lot of people watch this shit and they just shrug their shoulders and shit, and it makes me sick to my guts. It's one of the reasons I had this motherfucking platform and shit. I fucking hate how everyone just rug sweeps what these women do. Okay, especially the ones in our community and shit, the ones on the world stage doing this shit. Okay, I'm not gonna even talk about Will Smith slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars. I kind of hope that would be the bottom of the barrel for him, but we'll see what happens. I find that I didn't really give a fuck after that happened. What was going on in the lives of the Smiths and shit. Like a year and a half ago, I heard that he was talking to divorce lawyers and shit. Divorce ads and shit. I made a video about that. And she's still around today and shit, bringing shame on his name. She never just drops her last name and shit. She was just doing the most, even dragging the dead corpse of Tupac Shakur through the streets and shit, claiming a relationship that he never said, he never claimed. He just said she was a good little buddy. She was in a friend zone and shit. And I hate recapping all of this bullshit, but I feel like she's the tip of the spear for what you would call a whole face. These entitled, well-kept, ops that's in your house that's pretending to be a wife, but they ain't no fucking wife. No wife should be doing shit like this. She has no shame. She effed a bunch of dudes in this house, and I don't care if Will Smith is down low or doing anything. That's business, okay? That's business. If he was truly gay, like way gay and shit, he'd just get rid of her. She'd live his life with his partner and shit. If it was a male or something, or trans or whatever the fuck. I'm saying it because you black women always calling somebody gay and shit, but you hang out with gay people, and that's a slap in the face to gay people and shit. And I'm just tired of hearing it. I'm tired of your lax accountability throwing up in my mouth when it comes to the horrific things that you do. And then you complain every fucking day about why you're not chosen. So you want to know why you ain't chosen and shit? You look at this woman who was the godmother of the whole phase as much as the late Kevin Samuels is the godfather of men's movements and shit, a certain wing of it, alright? I ain't gonna say he did innovated shit. We know that he did. A lot of people claim that he lifted things from their presentations and their platforms and shit. And I'm not here to argue any of that nonsense. You ain't claiming shit because the whole sandwich is fucked up. Nothing's getting done. We're just in a holding pattern talking shit. And yeah, I'm a disembodied digitally altered voice and shit to most of you and shit, and it's okay. I didn't come here being a paragon of virtue, but I want to talk about this fucking whole face, right? If you in your motherfucking whole face right now and shit, don't expect to get chose, okay? And if somebody do chose you, you have the good gracious and common sense to have a modicum of respect and keep shit on the low, okay? Keep shit behind the door and do your shit. We don't need to see it. The world does not need to see your malfeasant behavior on display. Right? We're tired of it. No one wants to see it and shit. I'm gonna tell you that, Cardi B will not be in this series of videos, right? Because she ain't black, but this bitch is, right? Will Smith allowed this woman to come in under his roof and do the most horrific thing. She's done everything but stab him with a knife or maim him or some way and shit, and just harass this man and give him no peace. And it's not if he was on the down low and shit. I have to keep bringing it up. Like people say, like she's mad about that. Like she could have got out at any time. She got 2 babies on him and shit. She put 2 babies on him. She could have got out, took a whole bunch of shit, but her career would have went nowhere fast, and she would have just been stuck with a bag of money and nowhere to go. And all she could do was buy pookies, young pookies, and dress them up like Ken dolls and shit. However she liked, and bang their brains out and shit. But she, at the end of the day, she'll still be a undersized, bald-headed witch. Okay. Right? What else can I call it? Look what she did to this man. Look how she came into this man's life and upended it and shit. And look at his children. She had his motherfucking daughters writing letters to a dead man, which were made available for public consumption on the world stage. Right? His daughter. And his son is sexually confused and depressed and shit. And Will has a lot to do with that. He had to carry that cross and shit. But we have to talk about, who's the first teacher of the child and why did she give him these motherfucking babies? And she sat up and she complained and said that she cried on her wedding day because she really didn't love him, but she married him anyway for money. And she's a scumbag and shit. And a grifter, an emotional grifter. And goddamn, the nicest thing you can say about her is that she's a fucking narcissist and a sociopath. But it goes much deeper. I just want to call you a witch. You know why I'm calling her a fucking witch? I'll tell you why they call her a fucking witch, As far as back in the 70s, I realized that, a lot of times witches lose their power and they're accused openly in public. It's like she dragged Will Smith to that red table in his own fucking house to rub his nose in the fact that she molested her son's friend. Alright? She molested that kid. She assaulted that kid. She has a history of doing that. She even got one of the kids from that old rap group, Crisscross and shit. And she sent me a cease and desist letter. I'll say allegedly. Before she sends me a cease and desist letter, she better go after the members of the dog pound and put her ass on blast on fucking Vlad's TV and shit, which I don't watch no more. I get tired of these fucking ops. I get tired of these culture vultures. And I get tired of these fucked up women pretending like they're wives to these powerful men, these rich men, these wealthy men, these tall 6'6", the 3'6", and Grand Canyons full of cash. And this bitch ain't happy. And she ain't got nothing. Okay, she ain't nothing. She has no personality. Okay, she done tried off on a bunch of different hats and none of them fit, so she decided to burn the house down with her and her husband and her children in it. Alright? All you women out there talking about, the whole phase and everything. This is the end result of the whole phase, okay? This is where you end, okay? This is the wall, bitches.